May 11th, 2022, today is the 4-year anniversary of the murder of Shireen Abu Akleh, a Palestinian-American journalist for Al Jazeera, who was assassinated by an IOF officer in the occupied West Bank while she was reporting on an illegal raid in a refugee camp in the city of Jenin. Now, of course, at the time that this happened, it made international news, so even though I rarely ever heard anything about Palestine, I remember hearing about this. Oh, and how naive I was back then, where I thought that they were serious when they said that they were calling for an international investigation. I thought the UN was going to do something. And people at the New York Times and CNN were calling for a thorough investigation and said there needed to be consequences for targeting a journalist. I naively thought, yeah, for sure, because we support protecting journalists here. I just didn't understand back then that the UN was useless and didn't do anything. And I also didn't understand that when Americans said that we care about protecting journalism, we only meant if they're in Russia. Now, in typical Israeli regime fashion, if you're not familiar with this story, but you'll be familiar with the pattern. First, they lied and said that it was like Islamic Jihad or whatever the equivalent of Hamas is in the occupied West Bank. So they denied doing it at all. Then they eventually admitted it was them, but they said it was friendly fire. It was an accident. So they investigated themselves and found they did nothing wrong. Everybody knew this, but now it's come out that yes, it was intentional. They intentionally targeted her. She was wearing a press vest and a helmet, and yet she got executed in the back of the head. Accident? That was another one of my incredibly naive thoughts that I used to have, that like, because she was American, I thought they were going to do something about it. Remember how Biden was like, you touch a hair on an American's head and there will be hell to pay. Needless to say, I wasn't familiar with the story of Rachel Corrie at that time. It's actually revealed that the Biden administration helped them cover it up. The Biden administration knew that they intentionally targeted Shireen Abu Akleh and put up purposeful roadblocks in order to prevent there being accountability and a real investigation. Reporting in this new documentary shows that the U.S. knew from the beginning that the regime was responsible for it, but declined to actually press it further. But they continue to support the claims that she had been killed by Palestinians. The thing is that they keep getting worse than I realized. Like, I had no idea what like evil Zionists the Biden administration were. But that's also probably because I didn't fucking know anything about this at all at the time that Joe Biden got elected. Shireen Abu Akleh was a prominent journalist throughout the Arab world for decades. An amazing journalist that not just the Arab world, the Western world too. She was respected all around the world. She deserves justice. Her family deserves justice. All the Palestinian journalists that they have murdered deserve justice.